Where Are They Now? A TV moment that captivated the nation.
The thing that's just so heartbreaking is that there's a 6-year-old child that has been in this balloon.
Turns out that child was home the entire time. His parents, accused of staging a hoax, ended up in jail. So where is the family now? They'll tell us when they join us live today, Saturday, September 19th, 2015.
From NBC News, this is Today, live.
Still to come this morning, the family who made national headlines 6 years ago as the world watched in horror, fearing a 6-year-old boy was inside that helium balloon. But was it all a hoax?
We'll check in with the Heene family. But first, these messages.
This thing is really motoring along.
The country could not turn away from the live TV coverage 6 years ago of a helium balloon with the thought that a young boy was trapped inside. He was never in there, and his family came under a lot of fire when some people said they made the whole thing up as a publicity stunt. We'll talk to them about what's been happening in their lives since then. There they are right there, the Heene family. And they're excited to be here.
Those moves give you a clue as to what the Boyz are up to these days.
Thank you. Up next, Where Are They Now? The infamous balloon boy and his family on what they learned from the whole thing and whether they have any regrets about the incident. And they'll play the drums too, maybe?
Well, you know when you see yourself on TV, you just kind of go crazy.
But first, these messages.
Back now on a Saturday morning with Where Are They Now, our week-long series, as we check in on some of the most intriguing stories we've covered over the years. This morning, we're talking to the family that became well associated with what was known as the balloon boy incident. The Heene family is in our studio this morning, and we'll talk with them in just a moment. But first, here's a look back at their story.
This thing is really motoring along.
It was Richard Heene's latest invention, a flying saucer that broke loose from his backyard.
And it looks like he's going 500 miles an hour.
For 2 hours, the nation chased the helium balloon on live TV. But curiosity soon turned to panic.
There's a 6-year-old child that has been in this balloon.
A parent's worst nightmare. Richard and Mayumi Heene claiming they feared their son Falcon was trapped inside the balloon. The balloon soon began to lose helium, landing safely in an open field. Rescue crews rushed to the scene.
No sign of Falcon Heene.
Just where was Balloon Boy? Safe at home, hiding in the attic the whole time.
Why were you in the attic?
I was scared.
You were scared? What were you scared of, Falcon?
My dad yelled at me.
Later that night, the family appeared on CNN, and their story began to unravel.
We did this for the show.
That comment leading plenty to wonder whether it was all a hoax. The family had previously appeared on ABC's Wife Swap, and there was speculation the balloon may have been Richard Heene's attempt at landing his own reality TV show.
One of the guys told me it was for some TV show.
In the end, the couple was sentenced to jail time for false reporting and attempting to influence a public official in the greatest balloon ride that never was. So Richard, Falcon, Bradley, Rio, and Mayumi are all with us this morning. Nice to have you all here.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
So it's been 6 years almost, which is kind of hard to believe, although when we look at your kids, they've clearly grown up. Falcon, you're obviously not 6 anymore. But Richard and Mayumi, you know, this turned very serious for both of you. You both did some time in jail. You pled guilty to some charges that you've always maintained this wasn't a hoax.
No.
So clear it up for us. Why plead guilty?
Well, the threat of deportation of my wife was imminent. And so when that came on the table, I had to take the deal that they proposed to me. Mm-hmm. So my attorney said, Richard, it's only a 90-day stay. And that was a long time for me, but it really went by quickly.
But you understood, I'm sure, at the time why a lot of people thought, well, this does seem like a hoax. You know, you had apparently shopped a reality show. There were these theme songs out there on the internet. When people come to you and say, but clearly this was a hoax, how do you answer that?
Well, it wasn't a hoax. It's what I do. You know, I invent. You know, and so we were trying to keep it on a lowdown in the backyard. We didn't want our neighbors to see us building it. You know, it was just a test. Mm-hmm. You know, and so when the thing took off, it became what it did.
You had no idea it would take off in the way it did, obviously. Anything you wish you'd done differently as you look back now?
No. And we live a policy in our life where you don't live on regrets, because then you become a victim, and victims can't help themselves. So we always live a life of everything's supposed to happen for a reason. As a matter of fact, the kids wrote a song about that.
Well, you guys have a band now, the Heene Boyz, Boys with a Z, we should point out. But when you talk about learning lessons from this, Falcon, what's it been like for you? So you were 6, all of a sudden everybody knew you as, not really as Falcon Heene, they knew you as Balloon Boy. That kind of thrust you into the spotlight. So what did this whole event do for you as a kid?
Well, it did make us move on, so like, not just like, now we're like that, but then we moved on to, now we get involved to a band, so that's better, right?
So you think, how did all of this, you think, bring your family together? What did it change for you guys? As you said, you don't live in regrets.
Oh, yeah. What happened was we discovered at that moment how important your kids are. Because imagine losing one. That's what hit us hard. So we became much closer. We thought we'd spend more time with the kids. And I had a goal that one day when I turned 50, I would just drop everything I'm doing and just pay attention to the kids. Well, that goal was moved up by 3 years.
So you were able to do that?
Yeah. I just said the heck with it. You know, what do you guys want to do? And he said, I want to be in a band. So he started guitar, drums, bass, and lead vocals.
And how's the band going, guys?
It's great.
Awesome.
It's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. We have a new musical now. It's a Rockestra. It's called American Chile.
American Chile. And you guys all wrote it together, right?
American Chile.
Are there any balloons in the musical? In the Rockestra? No.
Oh, you said rock? Yes, Rockestra.
Rockestra.
Yeah, Rockestra.
Do people bring this up to you? I mean, it's been 6 years. You actually moved. You live in a different part of the country now. But does it ever come up?
Once in a while, it'll come up, and they'll go, "Hey, you're that guy," you know, that kind of thing. And I guess Johnny Vegas, who came with us, he was in a supermarket, and some lady mentioned something to another clerk, and he comes out and says, "Oh, you know, they were talking about you."
Yeah.
Well, you know, it happens.
Any more balloons? Have you built any balloons since?
Not like that.
Not like that? All right. Well, nice to have you all here. Glad to hear you're doing well. Thanks for coming in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The Heene family.